Okay, welcome back. Today, we are going to be talking a little bit about food of the Marshall Islands, so Mōñā and Majol, and the things that we eat there, some things that are different from our experience in the United States, some things that might be the same. So yeah, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
This this dinner plate right here actually kind of crazy. It's my first Marshallese meal I ever had. My first meal of the Marshall Islands. So, and it's pretty, I guess, like pretty indicative of what like a standard Marshallese meal looks like. Uh, just a big plate of rice, some meat, and a drink, and a banana is a little more rare, I guess. But yeah,
What kind of meat is that?
I think honestly, I don't even remember. I think it's pork, but I can't be 100% sure.
Cool. And then I'll just throw out some Marshallese words here every once in a while. The word for meat in Marshallese is gelele.
Yep. And rice, super easy, just raj.
Banana, pinana.
Yeah. So yeah, those hurdles, get through those and you'll be fine.
That's great.
But yeah, honestly, I feel like rice is like the biggest staple, right? Like it rice for every meal. You gotta have a lot of rice. So this brings me back. Do you eat much rice after the mission, Nielsen?
Definitely a lot more than before the mission.
Yeah.
Like cooked rice like 2 days ago, cooking it again tonight. I like it. I used to hate rice, but now I love it.
See, yeah, those Marshallese people, they'll get you. This is just me looking goofy, but I added this because there's bananas there. Um, yeah, we kind of talked about bananas already, but it's one of the few fruits that are in the Marshall Islands, right? There's tons of coconuts, there's bananas and papayas, and that's really about it. There's a couple mango trees and a couple other things that you'll get here and there, but those are kind of the main ones.
Yeah, and this is cool. Like this bunch of bananas, they call that a jilibugi, and which isn't this that the same word for 300?
Yep.
So you'll see them just use a machete to chop that down, and then once the jilibugi is gone, the tree only grows one, so you just chop the whole tree down with the machete. And if you haven't seen a banana tree before, it's easy to cut it down. Just one swipe of a machete. It's not like a tree with like wood and stuff. It's just
Yeah,
hard
it's
to
just like a
believe.
stalk, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's not made out of wood, like you said. It's like just kind of a thick stalk almost.
totally.
Yeah. Uh, we don't need to go into this dark picture. It's kind of too dark. Then there's also pig, pork, and for a lot of places in the Marsh Islands, they have pigs running basically all over the place. Uh, when we served together in Laura, there was a place in particular that had just like a ton of pigs, and that they'll often they look weird sometimes. I think because the pigs interbreed, which I don't think we have that as much in America, but at least in my experience, there was like weird looking pigs that always had weird skin tags everywhere and kind of
Mm.
different problems with them, but they did taste good.
They did. And right after Josh left Laura, I stayed there for a little bit longer. And one of the members asked if we'd come over as a service project and kill one of his pigs. And it was a huge, huge pig just roaming the wilderness. And we just like tried to grab it, but the thing was huge. We were terrified of it, and it just started charging me at one point, and I just ran away and screamed like I had no chance of killing that pig. Then later he gave us a little easier service project of a pig that was well contained, and we were able to kill that one. But
I love that. Yeah, just trying not to be bested by a roaming pig in the woods.
I was horrified.
Yeah, yeah. And some of the best pork I've ever had is from the Marshall Islands, honestly. There's a lot
Mm.
of really good stuff. Like takes me back. So good.
Best meal I ever had was pig with some breadfruit, and I don't know how they prepared it, but it was insanely good. We'll show some breadfruit here in a sec.
And pig in Marshallese, pig. So
Beef.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, turtle, kind of I mean, frowned upon in the United States to eat, obviously. But in the Marshall Islands, they really like to eat it, especially for like big occasions like holidays or to commemorate like a first birthday, a KMM. But yeah, turtle is one of my favorite foods ever. I can't describe it. It's kind of like pork. It's kind of like there are sections of it that are like brisket, but like even more flavorful almost. Um, but yeah, really love it.
Yeah, that's how I'd describe it as well. And the word for turtle is one.
Yeah, so good. All right, you recognize any of these foods, Nielsen?
I know we've got turtle there. I've seen this photo before. So turtle there on the left. I'm guessing that's chicken up in the upper right. And
Yep.
then yeah, got some sushi, some stuff that you don't really see super often in the Marshall Islands.
Yeah.
Yeah, just some of the things that you don't see as much is some of these vegetables. So that's a pretty that's a delicacy there in the Marshall Islands.
Yeah, and I think like something that I didn't really recognize before, like I didn't really think about it, but like it just costs so much money to ship produce to an island, right? So
For sure.
I remember like watermelons don't really grow in the Marshall Islands, and the watermelon at the grocery store was like $50 or something like that. Um, so it's just kind of crazy because it just costs so much to ship anything. So vegetables really expensive, fruit really expensive. So you don't get it as much.
Definitely.
All right, there's turtle. This is kind of a sad picture, but it's kind of how they traditionally store it just to keep it alive. Just because there's not like refrigerators that are big enough often to store a turtle, so they keep it alive. Kind of sad.
Mhm.
Um, and then fish, we wouldn't eat something like this, but what was the ratio of chicken to fish do you think that you ate in the Marshall Islands, Nielsen?
It definitely depend on the area you're in. So the outer islands, we've got the main island of Majol, and then Ebi as well is highly populated. But outside of those two islands, everything is called an outer island, and lots more fish out there. So
Yeah.
ate a ton of fish out. I served in the outer island of Millie, ton of fish there. On Major, definitely still a lot,
Mhm.
but not quite as much.
Yeah. I think the Marshallese people on the main island prefer chicken, or it's just easier maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Uh, yeah, definitely a lot more fish on that outer island. Same here. And some great fish. All right. And then, oh yeah, breadfruit. So this is something we don't really get in America, uh, but it's called breadfruit or in Marshallese meh. And it's kind of like a stringy potato is how I almost describe it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like potato and like kind of string chunks uh, on the inside. And often there's a few different ways to cook it. So you could cut it super thin and make like chips out of it, meh chips, or you just toss it in a fire and then like this and scrape off the burnt parts. And that's called quanchin meh or meh quanchin. And uh, yeah, it's really good. I think I have another picture of May, but yeah, it's kind of like the Marshallese, I guess, potato.
Yeah. Unique fruit, super delicious. Mint trees. We don't have a photo here, but you could probably Google a
Yeah,
breadfruit tree.
yeah, I did.
They're huge. huge trees, so definitely need a little bit more of a larger area for those to grow.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss those. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and this is a kind of a picture of what it looks like. This is May when it's cut up. Not very appetizing because I'd already taken bites out of it. Sorry, and half a can of tuna right there.
They'll sometimes dip it in just like grease,
Mhm.
and honestly, pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, there's another Jila Boogie, a little
There's
more
a
ripe,
nice and ripe one, yeah.
and yeah, when you just have like a Jila Boogie, you can just hang it in your home. Obviously, so like nothing gets to it, no animals are getting to it. Like, don't just have it on the floor, but yeah, you hang it up, and we just like picked off of it for a long little while.
Yeah, and on the outer islands, a little harder to like cook breakfast and stuff. So we would just hang one of these up and just we'd have tons of peanut butter we brought with us and just bananas and peanut butter for breakfast for like
Yep,
3 months.
that's
It's
what
good
we had
time.
too. Yeah.
You guys too? It's a
And
nice fish.
yeah, it's a nice looking fish here. I think honestly, just these guys would always okaidok. They would throw like net right by our house, and since it was like kind of like on our property, they would always like give us a couple fish from what they caught because
That's
there
awesome.
was fish right there, right next to our house. So this is just one of those.
Very nice.
And some fish that I caught that would become shark bait.
Okay.
But yeah, just you get a ton of different variety of fish. Uh, there's a ton of different ones. Obviously, like little things like that you would sometimes eat. They're the fish that you would get range from like huge fish like tuna to like smaller fish, bullock, and like other things. But it's shark. All right, you want to talk about shark a little bit?
This is a cool picture. But yeah, shark definitely a big part of the Marshall Islands. This one looks like it had eaten an eel, I think,
Yep.
uh, when they caught it. So that's pretty wild. Um, Not a super common food that I had from like people, but definitely had it a few times. Had the opportunity to go shark fishing a few times with some natives, and we one time just tied a tuna head to a coconut tree and threw it out in the water and left it there overnight and brought in a 6 foot tired shark that had
Mhm.
been fighting that thing. And yeah, just tons of meat from it, shared it with a bunch of people. So another delicious food of the Marshall Islands.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think usually when you're like shark fishing, yeah, they're tie it up, or you can just wait for it too, and then reel it in yourself. Um, Often, at least on Island Global, like the sharks would be dead by the time it would, like if you just left it, because it would just be beat against the reef, like the
Oh,
waves, and just be beat to death already by the time we got to it.
gotcha.
Or one time I thought it was gonna be dead and it wasn't dead and it tried to like bite my hand off and that was pretty scary.
Terrifying.
But yeah, it's a fun time shark fishing.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
tastes
and
good.
I like so there was that one time where it was tired overnight, but
Mhm.
catching a shark like right as it takes your bait is freaking exhausting and so hard. And a lot of Marshallese men have like some scars just from the line. They wrap it, they just pull it by hand. And so that line will just scar up their hand really bad. And I was just the one shark that I had that was alive. I was fighting it for a while and I wasn't able to reel anything. So I had to hand it over to the native guy who was helping me. I
Yeah.
couldn't fight that thing.
Yeah.
It was
They're
too
so
strong.
strong.
And this one was like smaller than my other one. It was like 4 feet as opposed to the 6 foot one. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
if you like fishing and want a fish that'll put up a fight than try to pull in a shark in the Marshall
Yeah,
Islands by hand. It's really hard.
it is so hard. And this is what I mean, this isn't what it traditionally looks like, but we ground off the meat that's closer to the spine of the shark and made burgers of it. So there we go. There's our
Shark
delicacy.
burgers. That's so cool.
And then yeah, this is just papaya. It was pretty, I mean, one of the top three probably fruits in the Marshall Islands that I had the most. So
Kinabu.
yep, Canaboo.
The
Uh
word for shark is pako, by the way.
yes. And yeah, I think overall, like the food in the Marshall Islands is so good. But I don't know how I don't have a picture of this. But the last one I want to talk about is Pandanus. Uh, and it looks like this. I mean, some of this is weird that like is not what it looks like in the Marshall Islands. But
That one's pretty close.
yeah, this one's pretty close.
Yeah. Word for pandanus is bub in the
Yep.
Marshall Islands. It's like a juicy, delicious, like it's not really like sustenance as much as like your average fruit. It's kind of just like you bite it and kind of squeeze it and suck in the juice. And that form of eating, they call it wurwur, instead of just regular like eating it, because like I said, it's not as much sustenance. Um, but yeah, delicious, super good treat, and it's stringy and it gets stuck in your teeth really bad.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll even like take the bub juice and then put it in milkshakes or something, other food. And it's so good. It's just
That's on
sweet
fire.
and
That's so
yeah,
good.
really, really delicious.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if we can even get it, but there's this food called U,
Yeah, maybe
which is
search
a
up
germinated
germinated
coconut.
coconut.
So it looks
There it
like
is.
this. Yeah.
Spongy. Um, I had an experience where a guy, I knew the word for this. It's you, I-U. And the guy was like, because he's trying to speak English to us, because obviously we know English. And he was like, Elder, have you guys, do you guys want to eat some germinated coconut? And like he said it in his Marshallese accent. I was not expecting the word germinated to come from a Marshallese guy. But I was like, oh yeah, I know you. Like I like to eat you.
Yeah, it tastes so good, and they'll often mash it up and mix it with like coconut milk and cream and sugar and make like this drink called lucor and sometimes lime. And then they'll often freeze that drink and just make it kind of like a popsicle thing, ice lucor.
So good.
It's so good.
Just buy a little bit for a quarter,
Yep.
little cup, frozen ice lugor.
It's
So good.
delicious. Man, miss it. All
Yep.
right. Yeah, I mean, that's not all of the foods in the Marshall Islands, but it's kind of a good comprehensive view of kind of a few of the things that we ate. Marshallese culture, Marshallese food is one of the best parts about the Marshall Islands. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I did miss like American food. I miss just having like a pizza or, a cheeseburger, but there's something special about just the food that comes from the Marshall Islands as well.
Well said. Entirely agree.
All right. We will see you guys for the next video. Take care.